What happens when desperation masquerades as ambition and a franchise watches its foundation crumble in real time? The Los Angeles Lakers are soaring at 11-4, their resurgence fueled by a player they acquired in what's rapidly becoming the most lopsided trade of the modern era. Luka Dončić is putting up MVP numbers that would make legends blush: 34.6 points, 9.0 assists, 8.5 rebounds per game, orchestrating an offense with the precision of a master conductor. Meanwhile, in Dallas, the Mavericks are drowning at 4-11, clinging to the wreckage of a decision that grows more catastrophic with each passing game. And here's the statistic that should make every Mavericks executive lose sleep. DeAndre Ayton, a backup center the Lakers plucked from Portland's scrap heap, has logged more minutes this season than Anthony Davis has for Dallas. Let that marinate for a moment. The centerpiece of a blockbuster trade, a 10-time All-Star who was supposed to transform Dallas into a championship contender, has been outplayed in sheer availability by a reclamation project acquired on a minimum contract. This isn't just a bad trade. This is a franchise-altering disaster unfolding in slow motion, a cautionary tale written in real time that gets more painful with every box score. Tonight, we're dissecting the numbers, the injuries, the whispers from inside the organization, and the brutal reality facing the Dallas Mavericks as they watch their gamble turn into a nightmare that threatens to define their franchise for the next decade. The trade that promised everything and delivered nothing when the Mavericks pulled the trigger on sending Luka Dončić to Los Angeles in exchange for Anthony Davis, the basketball world collectively gasped. Dallas was betting everything, their present, their future, their credibility, on pairing Davis with their remaining core, believing that his defensive prowess and championship pedigree would elevate them to immediate title contention. The Lakers, meanwhile, were taking a calculated risk on a generational talent who had grown frustrated with Dallas's inability to build a winner around him. It was bold. It was controversial. And for one team, it's proving to be absolutely brilliant. Fast forward to today, and the contrast couldn't be more devastating. Doncic is averaging an absolutely absurd 34.6 points, 9.0 assists, 8.5 rebounds, and 1.9 steals per game. He's not just playing well, he's playing at a level that puts him squarely in the MVP conversation, dragging the Lakers to the 4th seed in the Western Conference through sheer force of will and basketball genius that seems to transcend the game itself. His court vision is surgical, his scoring is relentless, and his ability to control the tempo of games has transformed Los Angeles into a legitimate threat that nobody wants to face in a 7-game series. Meanwhile, in Dallas, the situation has devolved from disappointing to genuinely alarming. The Anthony Davis disaster. When availability trumps ability, Anthony Davis has appeared in just 5 games this season. 5. In those limited appearances, he's averaged 20.8 points, 10.2 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1.2 blocks. Solid numbers that remind you why he was once considered one of the game's elite players, a defensive anchor capable of changing the complexion of an entire series. But here's the crushing, inescapable reality. Davis hasn't stepped on the court since October 29th, when he limped off after just 7 minutes against the Indiana Pacers with a calf injury that has now kept him sidelined for over a month. For a team that traded away a 25-year-old MVP candidate for a 32-year-old with a well-documented injury history, this isn't just bad luck, it's a predictable outcome that should have been factored into the decision-making process. Now, let's talk about the statistic that's making Mavericks fans want to throw their televisions out the window and question every decision their front office has made in the past 5 years. DeAndre Ayton, a player the Lakers signed after he negotiated a contract buyout with the Portland Trail Blazers, essentially acquired for pocket change, has played 425 minutes across 14 games this season. Anthony Davis, the supposed franchise savior who is going to lead Dallas to the promised land, has logged 415 minutes in just 5 games before his body betrayed him once again. A backup center, acquired on the cheap, is getting more productive run than the centerpiece of a blockbuster trade. The irony isn't just painful, it's suffocating. Ayton's resurgence. Salt in an already gaping wound, DeAndre Ayton's resurgence in Los Angeles has been one of the feel-good stories of the early season, A redemption arc that's simultaneously inspiring for Lakers fans and absolutely devastating for anyone associated with the Mavericks organization. The 27-year-old big man is averaging 16.5 points and 8.8 rebounds, while shooting an absolutely scorching 69.9% from the field, a career high that speaks to how perfectly he's fitting into the Lakers system and how effectively he's being utilized. Against Utah on Tuesday night, Ayton was magnificent. 20 points, 14 rebounds, and a hyper-efficient 10-4-13 shooting performance in 30 minutes of action. He's providing exactly what Los Angeles needs: reliable interior presence, consistent rebounding, efficient scoring without demanding touches, and the kind of steady production that allows Doncic to work his magic on the perimeter. The irony is almost too painful to contemplate. The Lakers found a productive big man essentially for free, a player who's contributing to winning basketball and fitting seamlessly into their championship aspirations, while the Mavericks traded away a generational talent for a player who can't stay on the court long enough to make an impact. It's the kind of comparison that doesn't just raise questions, it demands a full organizational reckoning. The Mavericks' freefall. When hope becomes delusion, the Mavericks' record tells the story better than any analysis could. At 4-11, Dallas sits in 13th place in the Western Conference. Watching their playoff hopes evaporate before Thanksgiving even arrives. Their most recent loss, a humiliating 120-96 beatdown at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves, perfectly encapsulated their struggles. Without Davis, they lack a defensive anchor, a consistent scoring threat, and the star power necessary to compete in a brutally competitive conference where every night presents a new challenge. The medical update released on Sunday offered little comfort. Davis will be re-evaluated in 7 to 10 days. For a team desperately clinging to relevance, every game without their marquee acquisition pushes them further from contention. The Western Conference doesn't wait for anyone, and the Mavericks are learning that lesson in the harshest way possible. Watching teams they should be competing with pull further and further ahead. But perhaps most damning of all are the whispers coming out of Dallas, the kind of insider information that confirms what everyone watching can already see. According to ESPN's Tim McMahon, multiple team sources expect the Mavericks to explore trade options involving Anthony Davis before the deadline. Think about what that means. Less than a year after acquiring him in a franchise-altering trade, Dallas is already considering cutting their losses and moving on, admitting defeat in the most public and humiliating way possible. This isn't just about Davis's injury history, though that's certainly a massive factor. It's about the realization that this partnership might never work, that the vision Dallas had when they made the trade has been exposed as fundamentally flawed, built on hope rather than hard-nosed evaluation. Luka's revenge. Dominance that makes the trade look even worse. Every spectacular performance Luka Dončić delivers in a Lakers uniform is another dagger to the heart of the Mavericks organization. His 34.6 points per game lead the league. His ability to orchestrate an offense, create shots for teammates, and take over games in crunch time has made him indispensable to Los Angeles and has reminded everyone why he was considered untouchable just months ago. He's not just meeting expectations. He's exceeding them in ways that make you wonder how Dallas ever convinced themselves they could win without him. The Lakers are 11-4 and look like a team that could make serious noise in the playoffs. Doncic has seamlessly integrated into their system, his basketball IQ meshing perfectly with the veteran presence around him. When you watch him dissect defenses, hit impossible step-back threes, and deliver no-look passes that thread through traffic like guided missiles, you're watching a player in his absolute prime doing things that maybe 5 people in NBA history could do, and all the while, the team that drafted him, that had him for 6 seasons, that could have built a dynasty around him, is watching from the lottery, wondering how it all went so catastrophically wrong. The verdict: a trade that will live in infamy. This isn't just about one bad trade or one injury-prone player. This is about organizational decision-making, about understanding risk versus reward, about recognizing when you have something special and doing everything in your power to keep it. The Mavericks had Luka Dončić, a once-in-a-generation talent, who could have been the face of their franchise for the next 15 years. They traded him for a player who, despite his immense talent, has a well-documented history of injuries and is on the wrong side of 30. The comparison between Ayton and Davis isn't just a statistical curiosity, it's a symbol of everything that's gone wrong with this trade. When your backup plan is outperforming your main plan, when a minimum contract is providing more value than a max contract, when the player you traded away is dominating the league while the player you acquired can't get on the court, you don't have a problem. You have a full-blown crisis that threatens the foundation of your franchise. As we stand here in mid-November with DeAndre Ayton outplaying Anthony Davis in minutes logged and Luka Dončić playing like a man possessed, the Luka AD trade is already looking like a catastrophic miscalculation that will be studied in business schools and front offices for decades to come. History will be the ultimate judge, but the early returns are absolutely brutal for Dallas. The Lakers are winning. Luka is thriving. And even their backup center is contributing more than the player Dallas mortgaged their future to acquire. It's the kind of lopsided result that makes you question everything you thought you knew about team building, player evaluation, and franchise management. For Mavericks fans, every highlight of Luka's brilliance is a reminder of what they lost. Every injury update on Davis is a reminder of what they got in return. And every time DeAndre Ayton checks into a game for the Lakers, it's another twist of the knife, another reminder that sometimes the worst decisions are the ones made in desperation rather than wisdom. So here's what I need to know from you. Is this already the worst trade of the decade? Or does Dallas still have time to salvage something from this absolute disaster? Can Anthony Davis return and somehow justify this move? Or are we watching a franchise set itself back for half a decade? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear whether you think the Mavericks can recover from this, or if they've permanently damaged their championship window. And if these numbers shock you as much as they shock me, hit that like button, and let's keep this conversation going, because something tells me this story is far from over, and it's only going to get more painful for Dallas from here.